It's Chris from Ace Parking Lot Striping, and we're going to work on showing you how to do a timesheet correctly.
Nice. Okay.
Alrighty. So, first thing I usually do is I start out putting my name in as a foreman. We have multiple Chris's, so I usually do a last name, and then whoever my crew members are, I usually go with the right-hand guy next, and then my roller guy. These boxes are here for who's driving. It's almost always me, so I just throw a check across it. We have the date, which I think today is the 10th. We'll just go with that. So put the date in, and I usually write down the mileage on my truck. I know we have it on a tablet as well, but I always put it on there just in case I don't get to the tablet until later, so I have it on there for the start of the day. Here we have our shop start and end times. So that's when we come in, get our trucks loaded, clean the trucks, trailers, whatever it is that we're here at the shop working. So that start time would be 9, let's say. And then whenever you leave, I always do things in 15, 30, 45, and zeros. It's easier for me to do the math on it. So we're here 3/4 of an hour, and I write it down as a fraction. Some guys like to do 0.75. Either way works as long as it's easy for you to do. And then we go down and we write in our first job name of the job we're going to. So let's say today we're going to Walmart. So from here we start our drive time with the end of our shop time. Punch it in there. And then however long it takes us to get to that Walmart, if you're stopping for gas, whatever else it might be, you might run into a hiccup with an accident, and all of a sudden it takes you an hour to get to a half-hour job. So you put in your time, your hour, but down here I would note traffic jam or an accident, and then that's what cost us extra time, so that when the office looks at it, they go, why did it take them an hour to get 15 minutes or 20 minutes down the road? Was there a traffic jam or an accident? So then when we get on site, we put in our work time. Again, sometimes on the job site, I'll have machine issues. I'll put another star out there and I'll say machine issues. Sometimes I'll describe it, pump not working, whatever. Sometimes I'll just put machine issues. And sometimes I'll even put down there, it took us 2 hours to fix it. So we get done with our job at Walmart, we punch out our time, let's say it's 5:15. The job's been completed for the day. There's nothing to come back. If you have to come back, then you're gonna circle no. Then we just take and do our math on it. So I always go this way to noon, so it's 1:15, and then I add, so we're 6.5 or 6.5 for the guys that don't like to use fractions. Then we punch in our next job, let's say it's Pfizer. We go on from 5:15 on our drive time. It took us a half hour to get there, so 5:45. We get on site at Pfizer. We run into some other issues, cars in the way. So we're waiting on them to move cars or whatever. So I'll put down waiting on supervisor to move cars. Get layout information. All this stuff helps the office understand what is taking you so long to get your jobs done. So you go there, you get that done. Let's say it only took you 2 hours. It's completed. You write down your 2. You got one more job for the night. It's at a strip mall, so we'll just write strip mall. You got your drive time again. Say it took you an hour to get there. So you're working at night. And you get out there and you run into all kinds of other problems. You're supposed to put signs in or whatever else. So like this just happened to me. So I'm putting signs in crushed stone, asphalt, and it's a rock. Because they're going to want to know why it took you so long to put in a handful of signs. So essentially all I'm doing is writing in notes to let them know what took us forever to get it done. So let's say you're there till midnight, 3:15. Now you're coming back to the shop. So you put your midnight time down. Takes you an hour to get back to the shop. There you go. So now you just go down through and add your times up. You got 3.5, or for some guys it'll be 3.5, whichever's the easiest for you. And you'll come down. Don't forget your 3/4 up here. So usually for me, fractions, I will actually do the fractions first. So I'll go 1 there and 1/2. So I know I got 1 to carry over, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's your day right there. And it could vary a little bit depending on, what you run into. But the best thing to do is write your notes in for traffic issues, machine issues, customer issues. Sometimes you'll be on a job site and the customer's taking forever to do the layout with you, or they want to keep changing stuff. All that stuff the office needs to know to make sure that they're keeping on track on what it is that's going on and why it takes you so long to get a job done. Maybe you had problems with the layout. So sometimes I'll have layout issues and I'll write layout issues. And something as simple as that just lets the office know that you ran into some problems.
One of the things you're famous for is good communication, which is what you're demonstrating here.
Correct. This is the type of communication that the office needs to understand what's going on. To add your hours up, every phone has a calculator on it, so that should be pretty simple. This process is really easy. As you can see, I'll have notes sometimes all the way down into the next job because I ran into so many different things. And I usually write it after I finish the job while it's still fresh. I don't try to remember any of this. I do all this paperwork when I get on site and then when I leave site. That way there's no confusion with it. And a lot of times I'll add up the numbers when I come in to put the paperwork in the shop. So.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.